Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Leighton's Loft. How are you today, Lou?
I'm doing well. I'm glad everything's working.
Yeah, I'm happy to be back.
Struggle.
It's good to be here.
Yeah, excellent. It's good to be back too.
Absolutely. So we're gonna get right into it. A lot of stuff going on in the hobby. And I wanted to start off by saying if you are not yet subscribed or someone who watches my podcast, Trading Card Therapy, I suggest highly that you do not miss this week's episode. So I'll tape it tomorrow. It'll drop Friday at 3 o'clock. And is going to be all, hey, what's up, BK? It's going to be all about the big find that I made late last week in Connecticut. And if you follow me on Instagram, Leighton_Sheldon, you'll see over the last few days I've made some posts in regards to some of the T206s from that collection. Some of them were Hall of Famers with tough Hindu backs. I just showed off yesterday. There were, Lou, four each. There was one of each of all the T206 Thai Cobbs that are in the T206 set.
Oh, I saw that post. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to be a great collection. It's worth tuning in, not, of course, just to see some of the cards, but also to hear the story behind it.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, so am I. So that was really fun. And then just as a side note, special thanks to David, our videographer, but because it was local enough in Connecticut, he was able to join me and really got an incredible amount of footage. So I'm excited to see what kind of video we can put together.
Nice. Oh, that'd be good. Excellent.
Now, speaking of videos, I'm not sure of how many of you know about our Just Collect YouTube channel, but you can find me and our company Just Collect on youtube.com under the company name Just Collect, all one word. We just put out a video yesterday, and it is entitled My Interview with a 50-plus year collector who bought tobacco cards for 25 cents each through the mail in 1964.
Oh, my God.
And, yeah, it has about 600 views in about 20 hours, and it seems to be fairly popular so far. And what was really cool, gang, is that I did the interview with Gary live from the Strongsville convention. So you can, of course, there's some music, there's some noise in the background. I can't do anything about that. But you really get a vibe for the show. It's not just done through Zoom or in a conference room. I think it's kind of cool and neat, and it's worth checking out. So if you get a chance, check it out.
Oh, lots of good media.
Yeah, it's fun. And speaking of lots of good media, special shout out to my friend Joe Ferguson from 20th Century Baseball. We run that page on Facebook. It's very popular amongst baseball aficionados, Lou. And he recently, he's been helping us take clips from our podcasts. I know you know a little bit something about that.
Yep.
And Lou, it's all about which clip you take, right, and how you present it to the audience. And of course, you're trying to do it to really plug, that particular show that you're talking about. But every now and then you catch some lightning in a bottle. And I don't know if you saw, I think it was maybe 2 episodes ago on Trading Card Therapy, but where I was talking about, I had won a 1933 Gowdy Joe Soul Wrongback card out of the last REA auction. And it just so happens on the other side of the Joe Soul is the Babe Ruth, number 144. Yeah. And so that he took that clip out. It was a good clip. Anyway, that clip in the last, I don't know, week or two, Joe could tell you, but it has over 50,000 views.
That's amazing. Excellent.
Yeah, it's just good for the hobby in general. Of course, hopefully good for our business as well.
Yeah, that's an art. It's not a science. Sometimes those clips go, sometimes they don't.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're super excited. Of course, just as a side note, basketball, Celts are up 2-0, and I believe Game 3 is tonight, right?
Yes, it is, but we're kind of distracted up here because we've got the whole Tom Brady thing at Gillette tonight.
Oh, what's going on at Gillette tonight?
They're inducting him into the Patriots Hall of Fame at Gillette, and it's a big ceremony. They filled the place. Bill Burr is going to open the show with a deal, so we're kind of a little distracted, but we'll get there.
All right, fair enough. Well, that's super cool. Yeah. Did you or anyone that you know up there, Lou, or anyone who's watching our show today, did you watch or go Bananas at Fenway?
No, you know what? That ticket was so tight up here. They had to give them out in a lottery. This is how tight this ticket was up here.
Wow. And it was sold out, I heard. Yeah.
Oh, it was sold out 10 times over, and tickets were selling for 500 plus on the street.
Oh my God. I mean, I've been following the guy, I guess, who founded it, started with his wife, bought the team and had some issues at first. He's a tremendous follow on IG. Really interesting entrepreneur.
I've
And
heard nothing short of, from anybody who went, I've heard nothing short of that was awesome. Everybody just absolutely loved it.
I was watching some of the highlights on social media. I wish I was there. It looked really cool.
Oh, it looked like a blast. It really did.
Yeah.
Gonna have to go
Speaking
down
of
to
social
Savannah
media.
and get it done. Yeah.
Speaking of social media, make sure you check out our buddy Jim Ector of Karma Records. He just started following me on social media on IG. I think it's like Karma_IN. I don't know. Check it out. But a good place to find some cool music.
Yep. And I've bought some stuff from him. It's great.
Hey, what's up, Joe? Yeah, Joe's chiming in there. What's cooking, Mike? Thanks for tuning in, Chris.
Hi, Mike. Oh,
So we're going to get into.
Hmm.
I'm sorry. Look ahead.
No, Christopher's telling me Gronk won't be there tonight. I'm surprised, but
yeah, you never know though. He might be like the kind of guy who paraglides in or something.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. Could happen.
Right?
Yeah.
What's up, Preston? So interesting news in the hobby, as there always is, really, no shortage. So Fanatics just came out and announced a partnership with Sotheby's, the auction house. They're calling it Fanatics Collect. I believe they're doing away with PWCC. I'm going to do a little bit more research for my trading card therapy show tomorrow. But it seems to me that this new partnership, at least between Fanatics Collect, which is the new name of the PWCC brand, and Sotheby's, is going to be exclusively focusing on either cards or cards and memorabilia that are 100,000 plus. And that is a very interesting place to be, Lou, because most people that I know, my circle, they're not buying $100,000 items.
No, but it's fun to look at.
It is fun to look at, and it at least gives me hope that they think that there'll be many more $100,000 items in the future, because, of course, why would you be focusing on that if there wouldn't be that kind of material? So I thought that was really interesting news. It's kind of all over social. And just the big news in terms of 2024 Topps baseball cards is Series 2 drops today. And amongst some of the top rookies, including, am I saying is it right? Yamamoto from the Dodgers, the
Yes.
rookie, the pitcher.
Yes, Yamamoto,
There is some Victor Wembanyama autographs from like his first pitch, deal at Yankee Stadium. So there's a lot of fun things there to chase. And what I think is cool, even with inflation, you can buy I forget about vintage breaks, right? You can just buy a box off of like blowout cards or maybe even direct from Topps for like a hobby box for like $90, $100,
Yeah.
delivered. It's at least something that if you're in the game, Lou, and you want to open a box with your kid, you can do it.
Right. Just collect all your shares of Pulse games. That's all I'm telling you. That's all I'm telling you.
Fair enough.
He's the real deal.
You like the way he looks?
Oh, he's the real deal. Yeah. He may be
As
one
long as
of
his
the
arm doesn't
ultimate
blow
greats.
out, right?
As long as it's not exactly. Oh, it's going to happen at some point. It's like changing the timing belt. It's going to happen.
Can you put it this way? I like pitchers that are must see, like pitching TV, meeting in person. He's a guy I want to see in person.
And I'll tell you what, I enjoyed. It's funny, my baseball thing this year, I have been so much more enamored with baseball than I've been in recent years. That Yankees-Dodgers series was so much fun to watch.
It was fun.
So much fun to watch. It was great.
Well, speaking of baseball, Kraz and I are a little run. We've gone to a few games this year. And we just went to a minor league game this past Sunday, which, believe it or not, a few months ago, when we bought tickets to the Somerset Patriots, we had no idea that Garrett Cole would maybe be doing a rehab start.
Oh, you got lucky, huh? Nice.
Place was hopping. We're not right behind home. We're like a smidge off to the right, which is great because we had a great view. Crosby almost caught a foul ball. A foul ball was caught 3 rows before us. Parking was $5. I mean, I don't drink alcohol there, but I mean, like the food, I think we both ate for like $22 combined. It's $22 to get in the door for chicken fingers at Yankee Stadium.
Oh, minor league is the best. Minor league is just the best. And
Yeah, I felt rich. I'm like,
Yep.
What else you want to do? He goes, pardon me. He goes, Daddy, I think I want to do this. They had this thing, Lou. You're familiar with, like throw a baseball, see how fast it is, right?
Yep. Yes.
They had this little thing set up. Excuse me. They had this little thing set up. $5. I thought it was gonna be $5 a ball. It's
Yep.
$5 for 5 balls. Amazing deal.
Yep. It was funny. On Tuesday night, I got the surprise trip to Fenway because my son came up from Brooklyn, and my daughter took me early Father's Day present to Fenway. We saw Max Fried pitch, which was great.
That's awesome.
But we were remembering that I think it's the most mad my son has ever got to me because we used to go to Fisher Cats games all the time in New Hampshire. a lot of times, and I was covering prospects at the time too, so we were always up there. And he wanted a foul ball so bad, and one night the crowd was kind of sparse, so we moved down close to the home plate, and as soon as we did, someone hit a foul ball right where we were sitting. My son didn't talk to me for like an hour. It's the most mad he's ever been at me.
That's really funny. Well, you know, it's funny. I was thinking when I was sitting there, it's just all about the experience. And what really is wonderful about minor league baseball, and if you're out there and you second this, please chime in. I wasn't joking. I didn't necessarily feel rich, but I felt like whatever we wanted to do, I wasn't going to regret later. It wasn't going to break the bank. I wasn't going to look at my credit card statement the next day and say, oh my God. Now, the t-shirt admittedly was a little bit more than I thought. They had a super duper cute t-shirt for Kraz. I like getting t-shirts. I think that's a nice way to like remember an event, Lou. Obviously, He's going to outgrow them, but nonetheless, I think it was $25. So I felt like that was a little bit high, but everything else, and to be fair, Yankee Stadium might have been 40.
You know what the best part about it was for me is we could go if we wanted to leave in the 7th inning. I didn't feel bad about leaving. I didn't pay $50 for parking. I didn't pay $150 for the ticket. You want to go in the 7th? Let's go home. It's great.
For what it's worth, we stayed the whole game. It was like 2 hours and 5 minutes flat.
Yep.
And, you know, we missed a little bit of time because we were going to get ices, and then we did the baseball thing. And like, where were you guys? We're like, we're just having fun. It was great.
All right. Chris says there's 2 cards to chase in Series 2, Stroud and Wembanyama.
Well, there's a one of them autographed. And then we were going to talk about this tomorrow in Trading Card Therapy. We can touch upon it now. So if you're not familiar, the 1989 Fleer Billy Ripken card, of course, has the F face on it, at the bottom. And, you know, then it has the variations like the black box and the whiteout and all this other stuff. Well, Lou, how, like, just really great idea on whoever came up with this in the Topps marketing department. Jackson Holliday, the super duper, prospect for the Orioles, did a very similar bat pose with the bat resting on his shoulder, just like Billy did.
Yep.
And instead of it saying, you know what, F face, it says fun face. And it's just a nice way to like pay homage to the Ripken era from all those years ago with a similar pose and of course similar messaging, but obviously a little bit clearer this time around.
Yeah, nice. I like it. Michael says,
it was cool.
Dodge's affiliate team is half an hour away from me. I've seen a lot of players make it to the Major League. Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you a question. We were talking about the game, my buddy and I feel like you're a perfect person to talk about this. You're very knowledgeable about baseball. He was saying, I don't follow minor league baseball the way I did when I was younger, Lou, but he was saying, he's like, Leighton, it was a pretty competitive game. He goes, I've been to some AAA games that have been worse than this. And I said, oh, interesting. And his feeling was, he goes, when prospects reach AAA, if they're really good, they're in AAA sometimes for like 2 days.
Yeah.
Right. But the real development isn't happening. Single A, right? Think about it too. If you're really good at single A, you don't last long. And I was just thinking about the migration from single A to double A to triple A to the majors. Is there some validity to what my friend Craig was saying? Shout out to him and his kids. We had a great time at the game. That you believe that there might be just a little bit more or a lot more development actually happening at the double A level. I'm curious what you think about that.
I think he's right currently. In other words, the game is evolving a little bit. I just talked about this on the Sirius show before. Is the game is getting away from velo and it's getting away from fastballs. It's about command and changing pace now a little bit more than it was, and being more efficient and staying in the strike zone and trying to get pitchers into the 6th inning. And it used to be for a long time that all the great prospects were in double A and you could go right from double A to the majors, and triple A was a taxi squad type of thing, right?
Yeah.
4A type players who've been coming up or coming down who aren't quite great. And all the prospects would just jump AAA and go to the majors. I feel now, and I think teams are getting to it more and more, is that the AAA hitters and even the AA hitters and pitchers have to go through that AAA for a while to work a little bit on their scheming and location for pitchers and for hitters to see more sophisticated breaking pitches. Because the prospects in AA, pitcher-wise, are basically velocity. They're velocity and a slider, right? So you want to make sure your hitters can take something a little bit more sophisticated and can deal with off speed and can stay off balance and still make contact. So I think he's right. I think he's right now, but I think the trend is going towards AAA is going to become a stop again. And we're going to see, and he's right to the extent, could be a week just to make sure he can handle it. Could be a little longer, but I think teams are going to want to see that little taste in AAA with young hitters because The pitching, again, is a little bit more sophisticated, and they scheme for them a little bit more instead of in AA pitchers are doing what they need to work on. So I think it's evolving. I think that's right now, but I think it's evolving. So AAA is more of a stepping stone. There'll be more players going from a short stint in AAA than they were in AA in the past.
Lou, I really appreciate your your thoughts on it. It's fun. I kind of similar to what you said. Maybe just because it's Crosby's age, right? Little League. I'm trying to get him into fall ball this year. There's just something about going to the ballpark with your kid. Oh. And I'll certainly try not to make the mistake that you did with your son in the foul ball. But, obviously it's not easy. Thanks for laughing, Lou. It's not easy.
There's so many stories my son has. He just so many stories. We went to an all-star game in Norwich, Connecticut, AA all-star game. That was so foggy that they did the home run derby before the game, and they had to put guys out by the fence to see if the ball went over the fence. That's how foggy.
Oh, wow. That's really funny. Well, speaking of home runs, so how cool was this? We saw one of the Yankees' highly touted prospects, besides Garrett Cole, who obviously is a major league pitcher, but Spencer Jones, who's like a 6'6", animal, savage.
Loves Spencer Jones, yeah.
Yeah, he homered. He led off in the game. He didn't lead off in the homer, but he batted lead off, and it was just a great experience and really a lot of fun. Looking forward to getting back there. You wanted to spend the last few minutes just because we're only doing Leighton's Loft once a month, to connect with everyone about the National. Oh, very cool, Michael. Congrats on your Billy Ripken F-Face results from SGC. A couple gem mints and
nice
10s and 9s and 1/2s. Thanks for joining us, Todd and James. Chris, what is he saying there, Lou?
Says there's an independent team here in Winnipeg that's been there since '94, part of the American Association. Yeah, they just reformed all the minor leagues a year or two ago. Winnipeg Golden Knights have been to a handful of games over the years. And again, take your young kids to the ballpark. It's a blast. It's just fun.
It's not just fun. And I listen, to be fair, Lou, right? You had your generation, I had my generation. My son's going to do what he's going to do with video games, is my point, electronics. But, he doesn't ask like, hey, Daddy, can I watch your phone in between innings?
Yeah.
Right? It's like we're really, listen, he may not be the baseball nerd that I am. I get it. But we're having a great experience, and it's just very wholesome. Everyone's pretty nice. And I think it's kind of similar to what you were saying. Everyone's pretty nice because no one's pissed off that they're getting raked on food or booze or parking, whatever the case is. Just a wonderful experience. What's up, Jim? Speaking of baseball, I didn't look yet at the National, but I'm definitely going to try to get to a Guardians game, pardon me.
Yeah.
We'll see the schedule, and this is what I wanted to finish with in regards to the National. So the National is going to be, 5-6 weeks away at the end of July. And long story short, it's going to be awesome. I know some people aren't as excited about the location, but make no mistake, just because you're going to have to stay 20 minutes away, it's still going to be a great convention. Mm-hmm. So I hope to see either some of you there or many of you there from our community. We'll be set up there all week. In terms of your preparation, I wanted to reiterate, whether it be it's your local shop, whether it be you want to consign it to a guy like Rick Probstein, whether it be you want to go to a local show, whether it be you want to contact me via email, DM, J5, or myself. My point is, you may say you want to bring cards to the National, and you should, to me, more so as trade bait than anything else. But man, any business that you can clear up before that, and you could take that time, even if it's 30 minutes, it's an hour and a half, forget about having the extra money, but you also have the extra time. I believe it will be proven to be priceless to you when you're actually at the show. So do yourselves a favor, start getting things in order just a little bit faster. So that way, even if you're going to be going to the show with the cards you want to sell, everything will just be in order. And maybe because you don't have enough time before the show, you take it to the show. And I know a lot of people who do this on day one. They decide to get rid of all of their, if you will, stuff to sell. And like when they're done, then they can enjoy the show.
Yeah, get some ammunition, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So do yourselves a favor, whether it's graded, whether it's ungraded, prepare. You will be much happier and you will have a much better experience because of that.
Yep.
If you're going to be going to the National, let us know in the comments. So that way, when I check the show later, I'd love to know who's going to be there. I'll make sure with Trading Card Therapy tomorrow we can announce our booth numbers so people can find us very easily. Lou, we covered a lot today.
All right,
I hope you have a great time.
Tell everybody where they can see Trading Card Therapy again.
Yeah, they can tune in. Actually, to be fair, I'm taping it tomorrow. So we're going to drop Trading Card Therapy on Friday at 3 o'clock on my YouTube channel, Just Collect, on Spotify, on Apple. Monty will take care of that. And it's going to be a great episode because I'm going to be going into detail about a collection that I bought late last week that contains hundreds of T206s, T205s, and more. You are going to want to watch tomorrow's episode.
Nice. All right, we'll see you later.